Welcome to Real Reflections, where two millennials reflect on our favorite movies, music, and shows from the 90s and beyond. Each week, we watch an old favorite and reminisce about the story, the actors, and the signs of the times.
We're starting off with a cult classic, Empire Records. Um, Madonna, what does Empire Records mean to you?
I remember watching Empire Records when I was probably in junior high, and when I think of that film, I just immediately think of the soundtrack and just how iconic the soundtrack was. And um, when I like look back on or re-listen to some of my burnt CDs, I had Sugar High on quite a few of them. And it was like with the dialogue and everything from the film.
You had to really work to get that, I'm sure,
Yeah,
back then.
Napster, I'm sure.
Oh gosh, yeah. R.I.P. to your parents' computer. It's probably destroyed in the
Yes.
making of those CDs.
Yes.
Um, I think for me, uh, definitely the soundtrack, but also the style. I feel like they really just hit every 90s stereotype for like that specific era, that specific like location and group of people. Um, I think you could make a Halloween costume out of everybody's wardrobe in that um, movie.
Yeah.
So just I guess for reference, it came out in 1995. It was a bust at the box office, which I did not
Can't believe.
remember. I mean, I don't know how I would remember that, but apparently it was only in theaters for like a few weeks or something before it was cut. Um, just over time has built up its reputation as a cult classic, so glad for that. Um, we see some of who I would consider like my favorite 90s actors, or at least maybe the most iconic. You know, we got Ethan Embry. I love him so much.
Mhm.
Um, Liv Tyler, which I don't know. I have a feeling we both have not the best opinion of her character or her in general, but yeah. And gosh, now my mind is blanking.
Well, I was
Uh,
gonna say it's funny because I was going through trying to feel like, okay, well, actually, now that you say the year it was released, I was 9. So, when I first saw it. And then when I when I was like going through, because I was just curious, because like watching it, I'm watching this movie and I'm like, I know these actors. I know these actors. They're well loved. I've seen them in a million things. And then I went back to the IMDb for all of them, and I'm like, uh, okay, scrolling, trying to find one single other movie besides Empire Records that I've seen them in, and I have a list of which ones I have seen, but it was kind of shocking to me because I'm like, I think this movie is just so like
like
loved by
ever present.
yeah that I it's like the only reference I have for some of these actors. So it was
Interesting.
that was interesting to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think I had sort of an opposite response. And I'll just say I think I saw it maybe in like 1997, 98, but don't remember anything about it. So I only recently watched it again for the first time like in the last couple of years, and then obviously watched it like this week in preparation for our discussion. But I think I had like blocked out how many of the people I knew were in it. Like Renee Zellweger, I had no
Oh yeah.
idea,
Hmm.
did not remember her being in it. And then the guy, Anthony LaPaglia, like I've
Hmm.
seen him in a lot of other stuff. Like I think he was in like a CSI or an NCIS or something, or like one of
You
those
know they're always going to be in a Law and Order.
dramas.
And it's
Right.
yes.
But like as a main person, and I was like, wow, he's so familiar. Oh
Hmm.
yeah. And then Debbie Mazar or Mazar, I don't know how to
Oh
say her name. She's a wild card to me. Those eyes, you never forget those eyes. I
no.
just remember she played the villain in one of I think it was Beethoven's Second. She was like one of the bad guys,
Yeah,
obviously because of her eyes.
of course.
Um, and then one, well, obviously Robin Tunney The Craft. But
Oh,
Rory Cochrane, who plays Lucas, I was like, he's so familiar, and he was in Dazed and Confused.
hmm.
And I also have seen him in something recently, and he looks like three different human beings in all three of those
Yeah.
movies. It's or situations. It's crazy, but yeah, lots of like familiar faces, I think. But
Yeah.
anyway, I
Yeah.
um,
Luca, or, well, Rory, he's in Yellowstone, I guess was his last thing that he did.
oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, I think that
I know Ethan Embry from Can't Hardly Wait, which is one of my favorite movies. Like
I
those
love
two
that. That'll
movies.
have to be our next watch.
Yeah, like my best friend and I, like, we're obsessed with that movie and we'll quote it all the time.
And
Um,
another great soundtrack too.
oh yeah, fantastic. And actually, AJ's actor, Johnny Whitworth, was, I guess, in Can't Hardly Wait. I think he's just a voice in the background though. Um, but
That's
he
a
was
mystery too.
also in Party of Five. But yeah, when I saw, so Debbie, Anthony are both, and so I married an ex murderer. And then here, okay, Brendan Sexton the third, Warren. I I was like, I know that kid from more than Carly, or from more than Empire Records, and there was not a single.
He's so prolific though. I looked at his IMDb and I
Yeah,
was like, he like never took a break. He's
no.
got like what I felt like it was hundreds of credits. Maybe I'm
Oh
way over
yeah,
exaggerating.
it was
He
crazy.
was impressive, I felt like. He's
Hmm.
definitely been very successful. Good for him. Um, okay, so let's kind of go through it a little bit because I feel like there's a lot to unwrap in this movie,
Hmm.
and I just can't wait to like do a little summary of what we each think of it at the end because
Hmm.
it's just such a wild ride. So we open up with Lucas, who's been put in charge of closing for the night for reasons unknown because he's obviously a
Not
screw up.
trustworthy. Yeah.
Um, he finds out that there's a plan to sell Empire Records to Music Town, and he finds like the mock-ups and everything. So he decides he's gonna go ahead and take the like $9,000 from closing and take it to Atlantic City
Hmm.
and win enough money to prevent Empire Records from being sold. Initial thoughts on the casino shots
Well,
and just
don't take me back to
everything.
casino right now. Um, no, but well, okay. I've always, this is not my most hated character, but I've always hated Lucas because of how irresponsible he is. Just,
Yeah.
I could never do that. And it's funny because I was like talking with my mom today about like closing up and stuff at old jobs and everything, and just like the responsibility. So I could never, like, just the irresponsibility of that. And then I was like thinking, he's down in Atlantic City gambling, and so he took the $9,000 and what doubles it, right? And then he's trying to go again, and I felt like he said, I don't know, I felt like, is that really enough money to buy this business? Like, with what I think he was trying to like double it one more time, and I was curious about the money. I was kind of being a little bit too logical, I think, and trying to figure that out. But then of course, like at the end when we kind of know more about what the plan was, I think it makes more sense.
That's a good point. So my thing with Lucas is we see him start off as a screw up. He takes this money, goes to Atlantic City, loses it all. He comes back, which is bizarre. Like,
Hmm.
why would you go back to the scene of the crime? And then he leaves immediately. And then he comes back again. And all of that doesn't make sense. But then all of a sudden he's like this guru. So
Yeah.
like the rest of the movie, he's a hero at different times. He's giving advice to everybody, and that version of Lucas I like a lot.
Hmm.
Um, but it just doesn't make sense how we got there unless having this happen led him down this path of clarity or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's just very strange.
Yeah.
But
I felt like he was never actually apologetic for any of it to
Mm-mm.
Joe. And I'm like, how could you do that to Joe? And like when Joe came
Yeah.
back out, like after his initial anger and was just like, are you in trouble? Did you need the money? Like,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
so understanding in that, after thinking about it for a second, I don't know. And I think it's, just like getting older too. I'm like, how could you do that to Joe?
Right. And I think we learn much, much later in the movie that of, it seems obvious that Joe has a father figure type of role for a lot of these kids. And we're given like the tiniest bit of information into why he might have been forgiving of Lucas, which is, it sounds like either he was dating Lucas's mom or there was something there where he like took Lucas in. But certainly we don't have that most of the movie, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it's the type of thing that you would just get stuck on, like, what are we doing?
Hmm.
Um, but
Yeah.
um, so we throughout all of this early process, we have the introduction of Gina and Corey, um, who I guess are in high school. It's kind of hard to
Okay. I
tell.
know, right? That's the thing too. So Corey's in high school for sure because she's studying for calculus and she's going to go to
She's about
Harvard,
to go
class
home.
of
Yeah.
99, right? Gina, I don't know I know AJ is out of high school because he mentions his rent in the movie.
Okay.
And so but also he's going to, so maybe he took like a gap year, because of
Hmm.
like his decision later. I'm not sure. Yeah, I was kind of unsure about like what ages everybody was and
Had that note. How old were these people
how old
supposed to
were
be?
they? Which I'm like, because if
Even
you're at just like, in retail, of course, like, have you ever worked retail?
oh yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. And like, you're going to be working with people of all ages, right? And become friends with them. So it's not that I don't, yeah, like, how old's Gina? I feel
Yeah,
like
I
she
didn't.
graduated,
Yeah,
but
I guess I would guess her at like 19 maybe
yeah.
or 20.
Yeah. I think
Um,
they're all pretty kind of like fresh out of high school or not
Mhm.
too much
Yeah.
older.
What's Joe
But
gonna do? They're all gonna leave at the same time.
I know.
He's got this new record
I
store.
know. Well, Gina's
Um,
gonna need to pay the bills, even though
hmm.
she, yeah, gets her gig at the end.
Yeah, I've skipped something very important. We find
Mm,
out that it's Rex Manning Day,
yeah.
um, which I love the idea of like having a celebrity visiting a store and like the prep and who's really excited for it and the
Yeah.
fans that are coming and stuff and having that be a focal point in the movie because I think it adds a lot to it and a lot of opportunity. Um, do you think that Rex Manning is supposed to be Rick Astley?
Maybe. Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking, like, who
Who
is this
is
Missy?
this? Yeah. Who is he meant to be? Yeah. Because sometimes you can tell in movies who they're inspired by. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. We should have looked that
but
up. We should have seen if there was, yeah.
I did like even his song that they
Say
kept playing
no
throughout.
more. Yeah.
No More.
No more.
Um, felt like a little Rick Astley. Maybe I'm wrong.
He,
But anyway, so we meet Corey and Gina. Gina has a convertible, obviously, and goes to pick her up, and Corey's got like baked goods and is perfect and
perfect.
beautiful. So we kind of learn pretty much immediately that she's like a goody goody and that Gina's the one that has like a little bit of an edge, which is
Yes.
just, interesting. And
You have to have
this
that.
movie, in addition to checking all the boxes for wardrobe of the 90s, it checks all the boxes of like stereotypes for people of the 90s. So it's
They
like the
shop
good
at
and the slow.
Contempo Casuals, right?
Right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like the mohair, Corey's mohair, like crop sweater, and then the plaid skirt, of course, and like the grunge boots. And
Yeah.
yeah, and of course, yeah, Gina's the sexier one and all that. So yeah.
I definitely love both of their outfits, but
Oh
never
yeah.
would have had confidence or the money to wear either.
No, no, never, never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, So we go back to the store. We get a little bit more insight about Joe. We find out that his wife left him for another woman and his girlfriend forced him to leave at gunpoint. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Um, we learn that AJ is in love with Corey and he's going to tell her by 1:37 p.m., a very good time, that he loves her. And this is a point where not like a moment in time, but like this particular portion or theme or storyline or whatever, I feel like we don't get nearly enough of the backstory. Like it's just all of a sudden he's gonna tell this girl he loves her and we don't understand who they are or
Yeah.
why and at one point she even says like you're my best friend.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we don't know that. Like you've barely spoken to each other
I
this whole movie, so how would we
yeah, I
know that?
never really got that vibe between them. I mean,
Mm.
I felt like he was closer to Deborah.
Deb? Yeah. I read in some of the like trivia or whatever for this on IMDb that it was originally supposed to be over the course of 2 days and it got cut to 1 day. And I just wonder if and that was even before I read that, one of my notes was like, I feel like we needed one more day to see what these people are like normally because this day is so interesting and weird
Yeah.
that to appreciate what they're like today, I want to see what they were like yesterday, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, and the thing is, like, despite my hatred for one of the characters, and like I said, Lucas was not my favorite, um, I really do like the characters and I love the environment. And like, I could watch a TV series, okay? I could have watched a limited series, a TV series. They could have made this. I'm surprised they didn't try and put on CW somehow, you know,
Yeah,
some
that
kind
would have been
of like knockoff, like Empire Records. Yeah.
yeah.
I could have
That
I
would have
could
been
have followed them around
really
for a
good.
while, but I
Mhm.
also don't like when like shows end and stuff. So
Yeah, it's hard. Or like if one, three good seasons and then everything goes off the deep end.
yeah, exactly.
Um, there's one thing this movie did not lack, and that's montages. And I do love a
Yeah.
montage, so I'm here for it. But the first one we get is like the opening duties, and everybody, it's almost got like a Breakfast Club type of
Yeah.
vibe where everybody's like dancing and cleaning and organizing. And, Mark gets to pick the music and stuff, and there's a 5 disc changer.
Yes,
It's just, I love that scene, and I love
me
good
too.
montage. Um, Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, so rewatching it, having worked retail, it did make me really like nostalgic for um
Work.
so I had two jobs in retail, one in college. I worked at Best Buy all throughout college. And so it really made me think of my time at Best Buy, which I really loved my time there. Like I worked with the best people ever. Um, and so
What area
I was
at Best Buy?
actually in merchandising and inventory in the warehouse. Yeah, I
Love
was one of the
that.
very few girls back there. And so I was like unloading the trucks and putting the
Perfect.
product out. But then I would do truck at night because like it was just easy to do that because I went to school in the day. And then I tried to I eventually that was merchandising. I really liked setting the store, like setting the planograms and like making it look like the picture. And so I tried to do that as much as I could. And then I went to inventory. Um, but one thing I did was I would come up with themed end caps. So like I did one end cap they gave me and I would do themes. And so like I would pick like, like beach movies or something, like if it was the summer, right? And I would have all the my coworkers like give me their suggestions. I would make this little end cap and like put like, Corey oh, I did work with Corey. Corey recommends, story recommends, and all that. And so that was yeah, that was the best part. And so it really made me think we would put music on in the morning. Yeah, we would put the music exactly. We would put we would put the music on in the morning and we would all take turns choosing it. And so like we each had our own vibes and stuff. Um, so it was fun. They knew like if I was on, it was either going to be like 80s or it's going to be like alt grunge. And but then if I was in the back by myself, because we had like the Sirius radio, I would always do like the alt station or Broadway's
It
best,
was.
the alt station, or I would
Oh,
do Broadway's best with Seth Rudetsky, and they'd always in the back, and they
wow.
like, oh, yeah.
I love that.
So
I
yeah, it
wish.
definitely made me feel like have a lot of nostalgia for that.
Um, uh, there's a lot going on during this time, so they're, you know, getting everything ready. We're just seeing a lot of random cuts to people doing random things. This is where we see Mark have sex with the mural
Yeah,
outside.
yeah.
I wrote down that I feel like he's just on high on paint, like huffing or something, or like
Yeah,
sniffing glue, like the whole time. I know he had the brownies, but not till a little bit later. So I don't know.
exactly.
And then we meet
He was very much a
Deborah.
character. Yeah.
Yeah,
Deborah. That scene when she goes in the bathroom and shaves that head, and that's one of my favorite songs. That scene is just, yeah, it's everything. Yeah.
remind me what song was playing during that. Is that
It's Free by the
free?
Martinis. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably my second favorite song from the
Hmm.
soundtrack, but very, very good one.
Yeah.
Um, I think there were a few characters that I felt like we really got a good, thorough development on, and she's
Hmm.
one of them. Like, I mean, obviously starting immediately with, oh wow, you shaved your head and you tried to commit suicide, and we know that Burko must be like a boyfriend or something who
Yeah.
just broke your heart. Like you're going through it, and now, like we learned so much about her throughout. Um, but yeah, and she did such a good job in this role. I felt like it was
Oh,
the best.
yeah, I know. Like, yeah, so Deborah's my favorite female character, in the film. And so I know, yeah, and I think it's also The Craft. I mean, I love that movie
Yeah,
too so much. So
she's so good.
I know it's so good in that. And I think it was just, see, I never really liked the main girl that you were supposed to like. I always
Yes.
wanted, I liked the friend who was overlooked or like the
Hmm.
other girl. That would always be like the one yeah, the one I like the best.
I wonder, like, too bad I don't have the DVD because I'm sure the commentary would tell us like who was supposed to be the one that everybody liked. Was it really Corey, or was it written in a way that we were supposed to
Just like
root
pick
for
somebody.
someone else?
Yeah.
I know this movie was written by someone who actually worked for, I think, a Tower Records.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know, maybe somewhere that person gave us some more insight about like who these people are based on or why they are the way they are and whatever else. Maybe she's supposed to be Corey, I don't know. But I did like when she said she'd rather kill herself than meet Rex Manning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
okay, so then this is where things kind of get a little weird, and I think we lose the plot a little bit for a while. And not that it's not fun, it's just like all these
Yeah.
random things going on. Like Joe and AJ have their interaction where AJ's like, "What's wrong with you?" And then the gluing of the quarters, which is fun. I do
Hmm.
like that.
No, yeah.
Um,
His art
and then
installation. Yeah.
right, we see Mark
The ballet
washing.
dancer.
Oh yeah, and the ballet dancer too comes up.
Yeah.
This is the point where I wrote, I would really love to have seen a normal day in an alternate universe. There's a normal day version of this movie because like even, from Lucas to Deb to AJ, like they all have these significant issues that are happening today, and
Yeah.
we see like how Joe is handling them, but he's already in this like heightened state. So I want to know, like, on a normal day, how does he treat them? How does he handle them? Like, is it more fun? Like, what's fun Joe look like?
Yeah.
That sort of
Exactly.
stuff. And then I'm gonna give another spoiler. My favorite character comes in, and it's Eddie.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, Eddie.
Yeah. Eddie. Eddie's great. Yeah.
Um, he is the epitome of like 90s grunge. and
Yeah.
gives Mark the way too strong pop brownies.
Yes. Yes. Eddie's great. Yeah.
He had some really funny like one-liners, and I think he was the one that I would like want to sit down and talk to the most. Like he really loves music and was like really
Hmm.
passionate about it and like his insight and stuff. So that's where he really drew me in. But
Yeah.
um
No,
oh, and
I liked
so
Eddie. Yeah.
yeah,
You
in
know,
all of this,
listen, you probably I was asked actually, I texted a coworker when I rewatched this week, who loves this movie as well. We've talked about before. And so I texted her and I just said, "Who's your favorite?" Right? And it's Eddie and Burko.
oh, okay.
Likes Burko.
Virgo wild card.
Yeah, she's like, I like that type. And I was like, okay, so if I'm for the boys, I'm basic. I am an AJ girl. Oh my God. I loved AJ, that sensitive artist. I loved him so much, and I still love him. So,
I- He would not normally be what I would have gone for, especially back then. But I will give you um, that he's very attractive. I think if we're choosing the boy that we most want to date or whatever, I hate how super over the top crazy he is, but Mark, I just like his style and
yeah.
everything would have been my like I want that shirt so badly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my sister used to have a shirt like that, and I'm just like somewhere in my dad's house maybe. Um, but then my second choice would be Lucas just because I love him underweight. So I mean, I love DJ Qualls. He was like one of my biggest crushes in high school. So,
Oh my God.
um, but anyway, and I have written down here that this is the point at which um Joe loses his crap and tells everybody about Music Town. But have I skipped
Well, I mean,
Rex Manning?
so you skipped Rex Manning, all of
Oh
that.
my
So,
God.
because he tells
I'd
him about
rather
Music Town right
lose up than
after, wait, tells him about Music Town. Is it after he beats up Lucas? Takes him to the office and beats him up?
No, I think that happens later.
Oh.
Does it?
Okay, no, no, you're right. He does tell them because then Gina and Deborah, fantastic duo that hate each other.
Mhm.
They have that moment when they're like looking over the new rules for Music Town, and obviously neither of them would be able to, be themselves with those roles, like the piercings and the scandalous clothing and all that.
Yeah. And then Deb says, less talk or don't talk, just rip or something. And
Yeah, 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 yeah.
they're,
Get less talking
um,
or something like that. Yeah.
okay. So yeah, Rex Manning is not here yet because I wrote down next we have a montage as they prepared the store. So this is when they're like putting out the cardboard cutout and like
Yeah.
the banner that says like Rex Manning Day or Welcome Rex Manning or something and all that kind of stuff. Um, One of my favorite ongoing jokes in this movie is Lucas and the couch. Like Lucas is supposed
Oh,
to stay on the couch, so
yes.
at some point he sends the cushion out with him so that he can be and like they don't talk about it; it just happens. I think that's
Yeah.
really smart and
So,
funny.
like, because he's carrying the cushion. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is where we meet one of the most important characters. Lucas is out there and he kind of notices a young chap with an oversized coat and
Yeah.
susses him out real quick and goes over to him and makes him uncomfortable and then he leaves and Lucas is like game on and like runs out the back and tries to catch him and we have this like fun shoplifter from Mark. I think this is a fun scene. Um my only complaint I think is Gina on the intercom. I didn't like that, but
Yeah.
oh well. And then we have Rex Manning and for some reason they're doing a photo shoot with Warren and Rex Manning, and then AJ gets in there. And then Gina comes in with her Music Town apron as her outfit.
Oh, her only outfit. Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, we just kind of go throughout. We have a lot with Warren and different people in the back, trying to feel him out. Lucas giving him, guidance and starting almost to like act as a father figure to Warren to some extent. Um, we see Rex realize that he's a has been, old, washed up, whatever, like the women who are coming and
Yeah. Their ages or like you were my favorite and yeah, and all
or
that.
like, I don't know who you are. This is for my mom.
Hmm. Exactly.
Um, all right. So just a lot of random things going on with um where we kind of see bits and pieces of people's motives and backstory. So Deb is like sitting in one of the booths doing the quarterly taxes. Um, we learn about her mom missing. Then we have like AJ on the roof practicing his speech to Corey. And then Corey freaks out because she wants to bring Rex Manning his lunch. And I guess we skipped an important thing with the annoying Corey is that she's in love with Rex Manning. Um, so she figures out how to finagle her way in there. Do you want to tell us about
Listen,
that scene?
I okay, so I hate Corey. I've always hated her character, and this movie, hating her character, has led me to hate Liv Tyler. Um, and so I've just have always hated her as an actress because of this movie. And I don't know what it is, but I hate that scene where she demands and just like I don't love the way it's played. Um,
Yeah.
myself. It is very over the top and just but like we also learned that she is going to Harvard, like, or she's going to Harvard. Her dad like wrote that card or whatever, and Gina thought it was sweet, but poor Corey, all the, pressure on her, all the expectations and everything. Um, so I'm like, is she in Harvard? Did she already get into Harvard, or is she trying to get into Harvard? I can't tell. And of course she's like studying for calculus. She's not even supposed to be there and all that. Um, but yeah, she demands to bring him his lunch and is serving him wine. Um, so I mean,
21.
she like
Um,
candles lit, everything.
what do you think about, actually, this just occurred to me. Of all the people that work in that store, she is the one that doesn't make sense. Like how would someone like her end up working in a record store? Am I
Yeah,
overthinking that?
I'm surprised she even has like time, right? Because like she's supposed to
Yeah.
be the character who I feel like is she's supposed to embody that high schooler who has all the pressure on her and is probably, a go-getter and taking all the hard classes and everything. That's just like kind of like the persona I got from her and based on kind of what she was also like her interactions with Gina, right? And so she doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to work there. I mean, yeah, I don't
Even like that, I don't know. I
It's
guess
like,
I'm
did she
stereotyping.
okay,
She doesn't
so
look like she cares about music, I guess, except for she loves Rex Manning, which kind of tells you that she doesn't belong there because she's the only one who does.
yeah, how so it's like why does she love Rex Manning and how does she learn about Rex Manning and when did she first hear his music? And so she says that yeah, AJ's her best friend. So like did she and AJ know each other before? Like
Yeah. These
and
are
then
the
like
mysteries.
yeah, I don't know.
I do think she's I get so Rex Manning used to be on a show called The Family Way, and she does say that when she brings him his lunch, she's like, "I wanted to marry you when you were on The Family Way," and he was like, "You must have been a baby," and she's like, "I'm not a baby anymore," and like takes her clothes off, and he's like, "Do you really want to do this?" And she's like, "No, I'm gonna freak out and cry and run away," which is the appropriate response, but
Yeah. Um yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, trying to figure out I know for some reason this is probably so stupid. Like with Rex Manning and like the family way and everything, it always made me think of like David Cassidy and the Partridge Family, kind of like that performer and stuff. And but I can't think of like David Cassidy being this creep, so I don't see it. I don't know. But kind of
Maybe
like
somebody had
yeah,
an experience that's unfortunate with it.
David Cassidy.
All those like former child stars like that have moments like that where like people throw themselves at them are still
Oh yeah.
like imagine people going to like 90s con and like there's some woman who is like, I'm still in love with you. I just wanted to, like let's go back to my hotel.
Now,
I don't know.
this probably seems to be the appropriate time to tell you that in college, my roommate Troy and I, so we loved John Mellencamp. And so we would drive by John Mellencamp's house all the time and like stop and take pictures outside.
And
Like
you right.
Chayu, yeah. And one time my friend Kendra met his bodyguard. And I think she met his bodyguard at one of like the Hoosier Hysteria nights, like at the Assembly Hall. And so she met his bodyguard, they got to talking and like exchanged numbers and stuff because she told him like she was a big fan of John Mellencamp. And then eventually he introduced her to John Mellencamp's dad, um, Richard. And so Kendra and I went out with one time to dinner with this bodyguard and Richard Mellencamp. And of course, it was all just a ploy to try and get closer to John Mellencamp himself. But yeah, but it's like, so it's like, I guess I'm like,
What Corey was going through.
understand. I know. It's like, oh my God, like so pathetic. But yeah, totally. And John Mellencamp came into Best, he would come into Best Buy and everyone would tell me when he was in there because I would freak out. I would freak out. Um, but
Did you
yeah.
ever use your impact as like a John Mellencamp tribute?
Wait, what'd you say? Oh, my end cap. No, I didn't. I didn't. That's
Mr.
yeah. Yeah, missed opportunity. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm curious about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't go well. He's terrible. He's a creep. I hate that scene. It's so uncomfortable to watch because like I hate watching her as like a high schooler throw herself at him and then just like how disgusting he is, but like just leaning back and okay, unzipping and stuff. I'm like, this poor girl. Um and then, of course, I hate the way she treats AJ afterwards. Of course, it had to happen at what, 137?
Yeah. That was sad. And I guess looking back on that scene, so they're on the roof and he tells her and she's like freaking out, like, this is not the time. And,
Hmm.
she doesn't think of him that way or whatever. Um, at least we know she was on speed and maybe
Yeah.
that's why she was acting so erratic.
So yeah, yeah.
Um, uh, I do shortly after that, suddenly Corey and Gina are at lunch, and this
Oh,
is where Corey
slut
implies
shamed.
that he's a slut. Yeah, and Gina says the phrase turbo slut, which I
Yeah.
really like.
Well,
Um,
but there's a couple like Joe calls them bucket heads. And I like the and like when Rex Manning says you can all just fade away, like
yeah,
the insults in this film are kind of like what? It's like were they making it family friendly? Because it just seems odd.
the fade away is like a song lyric, and I forget now what it was. Maybe it's the Doors or something. It's like
Oh,
some older
okay.
band.
Okay.
But still, yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we get
Look at
this is
it.
where Eddie delivers my favorite line of the movie when well, two favorite lines. He's or I guess no, just one now. So he comes in and has food and Gina's getting up to storm off and Corey has given her back her bra because apparently she borrowed a
Oh
red bra
yeah.
from her
Yeah.
best Rex, which
Red.
I don't think we knew that either. So that was just a
Yeah.
randomly she just took her
Yeah.
bra off and threw it at. And so he's like, "Hey, where are you going? You left your thing."
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Poor Eddie.
And then I know. He's
He's
just
so
great.
sweet. Yeah, I feel like yeah,
Mm.
he's a really sweet guy.
Yeah. Gina comes back with a mission to the record store, and it is to
Yeah,
bone Rex Manning, and decides that NBD, we're just gonna do it in what they call it, the cash out room,
yeah, copiers.
while everybody is there, including like Lucas and Warren. So,
Yeah.
um, and I think this is also when Joe beats up Lucas, which
Okay.
that's so interesting to me. He just takes him in his office and beats the crap out of him, and then they exit, and he just like throws him down on the ground, and then everybody's like, "All right, well, moving
Okay.
on to the next
Yeah, moving
thing."
on. Yeah.
Um, and then they can't. This is, I think, a well done scene
Me too.
where everybody's looking for Gina. Well, you go ahead and give the.
Oh, well, yeah, so it's just like there's like tension in the back because yeah, Gina and Rex are missing. And then of course Corey comes in saying she wants to clock out early and she's trying to put is it like the cash
Yeah,
um
like the
yeah,
till thing.
yeah, back in um the room and of course she tries it and the door is locked and she's like, why is it locked? You know, why is it and then of course where's Gina? Where's Rex Manning? You know? And then of course they come out and all is revealed and of course we have the crash out.
Yeah.
Yeah. As the kids would say, as the kids would say, the crash out with the two best friends and then the big reveal about the pills
Yeah.
and you know
It's very well intentioned.
yes, yes. Yeah. Well, the crash out was kind of reminding me also of Jesse Spano the
Mhm.
way. But yes, and then yeah, the cruel intentions. I love that scene and cruel intentions.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
then
so we
Corey
have everyone
attacks.
unleashing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we see the water dunk, and suddenly Deb and Corey are having a moment. Um,
The only thing I'll
we're
say
not.
about Deb is she doesn't wash her hands.
Yes, she
I
doesn't.
hate that. It's just
You know what? It was the 90s. People just weren't doing that. Maybe that was like a power play. She's like, we're not gonna be friends, and I'm gonna not wash my hands, and you have to touch the doorknob after I leave.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And then we have like a very, very strange scene, which is Mark hallucinating guar, the weed brownies.
Yeah.
Uh,
It does seem
and
kind
then,
of random.
yeah. So the next scene, I don't like it, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts. So then they like do the fake funeral for Deb,
Yeah.
and I think we like don't really get much of a build up to it. It just all of a sudden is happening. So maybe that's part of it. It just felt very strange and um like an odd choice. But what do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure like when I first watched the movie, like when I was, at 9, I probably thought I was watching things pretty young. Um, but I probably thought back then, oh my God, this is so like dramatic and emotional, and it would have really gotten me, to be honest. I would have thought like this is angsty. I love this. Um, but yeah, rewatching it as an adult, it does just kind of seem in a way like, well, we can just tell you how much we love or want you around, and that's going to make you not ever want to kill yourself again. And like everything's fine. And
Yeah.
um, I don't know. Yeah, it was just, well,
He's
and then, well, but then Dad's like, isn't this supposed to be about me? Because then suddenly Corey's like, I miss Gina. Or
like, Agent's like, I want to go to art school.
I miss Gina. Yeah. Um, and so,
And
yeah.
then they leave Mark out there alone, like the one who obviously can't function at all and has not said
Hmm.
more than three consecutive words,
Hmm.
including "It's Rex Manning Day." I just
Yeah.
says 4 words. Um,
So it's like maybe. maybe every girl in the movie didn't need to have this like pressing issue. Um, I mean, I guess Deborah seems to be the most life-threatening, and then Corey, and then I mean Gina's just a slut, so like whatever. You know, she's just promiscuous.
Mom, okay.
Yeah, she's
No, I
just
wouldn't.
promiscuous. But it's only because she's afraid to follow her real dream.
Mhm.
Um, and so yeah, it kind of felt like yeah, we definitely kind of wrap it up pretty quickly, the fights and everything, which like I don't know. I can kind of understand like there are some like friendships like that where you can just like get over stuff easily, but I don't know. So, no, yeah. Girls hold a grudge.
Um, yeah. But this is another like random interesting part next where we see the return of war and this time with a gun. And I swear, like I always assume all three times I've watched this that it was a fake gun, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's a real gun.
Mhm.
Like, where did he get this like 1930s mobster gun? And um,
And of course
of
Deborah
course,
confronts him
yeah,
and calms him
Lucas
down.
tries, or not Lucas, Joe, and then Deborah comes in, yeah.
Hmm.
Which that makes sense. I guess that was like a good.
Yeah.
She's not afraid to die. Come in. Yeah. And I don't even really know. Like from there,
All he wanted was a job.
right, yeah. He just wanted to belong.
Yeah.
See, old he didn't get a permit. Oh my gosh, you remember when you had to get a work permit in high school to get your job? You had to like go
Well,
to the county and be
I
like,
wait, did I ever have to do that? I
I
don't
guess
think
maybe not.
I never had to do that. But
Oh,
I don't
this
know.
was
I went to a private school, so I'm not sure if that was that a state thing that you had to do, like a state law? Was I being paid at
yeah.
the table?
You're probably exempt since it was the church.
Yeah.
So things sort of like wrap up, I think, pretty quickly. Here we have, Mitchell, I think, comes in maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not yet, but there's like camera crew there because of the gun and the shoot up, and so Mark actually has a good idea and runs out and says, "Damn, the man saved the empire," and all of a sudden we're having a mega party where every person who loves music in the tri-state area comes out to save Empire Records, and
I
we
loved
get your favorite song, Sugar High. Yeah, it's fun. I think that would have
I
been
always
probably a lot
wanted
of
like to be a part of something like that where you like the benefit, like this like last minute benefit and
yeah.
save yeah, and actually save something. Um
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. I was obsessed with that song Sugar High. I loved it.
That's so funny. I think that's my least, well, I wouldn't say it's my least favorite song in the soundtrack.
I
It's
just
my
love
least
how
favorite of like the punk type.
yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely one that would like bring up emotions or whatever, so you'd want to listen to it because of like how you feel at the moment. And we see Gina get she finally is like confident enough to sing, and um, the sign magically lights up at the end, and everybody's dancing on the roof, and everybody's kissing, and um, apparently they raised enough money to buy it.
uh,
Yeah,
and
and
she does that weird
Mitchell,
thing where I'm
oh,
sorry,
like
dead.
the
Yes,
falling
where
down
she like
dead.
faints a million times. She does it like 3 times in a row even. I'm like, God.
My poor guy's stomach.
Oh, yeah.
That was weird. Um,
Yeah, Mitchell
I
wants nothing to do with it now. He's done with the story.
like
He's like,
give you a deal. Get out of here.
yeah.
Um, I felt like there were two times in this movie where I thought Eddie might have a crush on Mark. Once was at the beginning when he gives him the brownies and the mixtape, and then
Yeah.
this at this end scene, and I think that's really
Yeah.
sweet. Um, but I still think we kind of skipped over this. We talked about it a tiny bit. I really do think that AJ and Deb would have been a good couple. I mean, they
Okay,
had like
so
their
I did want to go back to that scene after Corey denies him and then they put this, what song was it that they put on? And then they're all dancing and she takes his shirt off. Okay, do you know the gif or the meme of like Drew Barrymore like out in the rain like oh you'd have to look it up. But it's like that is when I would watch that scene as a young girl, like oh
Just
my
wait,
God. Yeah.
just wait till we watch Now and Then. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I see it. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. That was me
Um,
when I would saw that scene for the first time. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I because he's the one, um, when she first came in, right? He's the one who noticed her wrist bandaged up and was like, "What'd you do? Like, what is this?" And like confronting her. And so like he's the one who cares about her. Um, and then we have that moment, and I'm like, I know he's like just getting back at Corey, obviously, to make her jealous because she
which is awesome. What if Deb developed feelings in that moment?
I know. But I felt like there could have been something there, you know? There could have been
And
something there.
we also learn in this moment that um, AJ has decided to go to art school,
Mhm.
obviously in Boston, so he can be close to her. And she was mad at him earlier in the movie for not doing that. So
Yeah,
I don't think she necessarily cared if he was going near her, but he wanted or she wanted him to go to art school. So it was like
yeah, like not wasting
everybody
potential.
their shiz all wrapped up in a neat little bow.
Mhm.
Um, you know what else I think should happen? And I'm just gonna assume this happens. I think Joe should make Deb the manager or
Yeah,
like the assistant manager or something. If she can do the
yeah.
quarterly tax. Um, so okay. Now I want to get into like some questions and just some general stuff that I want to know your thoughts on.
Okay.
Um, so what we kind of already maybe answered this question, but who do you think is the best couple in the movie or would make the best couple in the movie or the most believable potential couple?
Well, okay. I don't know if it's like believable or not, but I'm gonna say I shipped AJ and Deborah.
Hmm.
I just always shipped
I
them
do.
because I just saw like that care for her. And then I felt, well, then they make out like during that when they're dancing and everything. And so I could see like where they could be goofy with each other. And then I didn't see any of that between AJ and Corey. I didn't see any spark. I didn't see any interaction between them.
To
Yeah.
be allegedly best friends and for him to be in love with her, and they probably had like 3 minutes of screen time total.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because
that
it's not like did they even address like her pill use? Like did AJ like after they found out like did AJ even yeah, like there wasn't even I don't know. So it's like we're just supposed to root for them, I guess, because that's what we're told at the beginning. And so like that's like what I mean like when I say like, well, I feel like I'm supposed to root for her and AJ because we're told he loves her, but I don't like her. So I'm and I don't want to like her. So
should
I'm gonna pair AJ um and Deborah up, you know, and Joe and Jane.
that's what I was gonna say. And I wish that that had been more developed. And I don't remember if they had like a wrap up moment. I
Did
don't.
they have a moment at the that party?
That's what I'm wondering. I don't. I didn't write it down, but that doesn't mean it
Yeah.
didn't happen. I just know like when Rex Manning first got there, they sort of like seemed like they were maybe there was chemistry, and then when she quits, he obviously doesn't want her to. And then when she comes back, he's really happy, but I don't remember them having like a make out or anything like that,
Yeah.
which I guess I don't need that, but it
Yeah.
would have really just been nice to see.
A kiss.
Um,
Just a
right.
kiss.
But I'd like to think
But
that
maybe we missed
in,
one. We missed it. Yeah.
yeah, maybe in a what happened next, post credits, where are they now sort of situation, we would see that Joe and Jane are a couple and running the store together.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Deb is the assistant manager, and I don't. I'll tell you reason number one that AJ and Corey are not going to work out is because if Homegirl is so dedicated to being a perfectionist, that she's on speed and is going to Harvard, she will never be okay with a dude who is just an art school boy.
Yeah.
Like, what's he gonna bring to the table? Um, and her dad will not like him and will
No.
not approve, and she'll
Yeah.
do what daddy says. So,
It won't work
okay.
out.
Who is your favorite character? Not the cutest, your favorite.
Well, Deborah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we know least favorite, both of us, Corey.
Yeah.
Just not like
And it's just fun.
nothing.
That's kind of funny because my friend Abby at work, who as I just said how much I hate Corey, and she was like, I think that's completely valid, and that feels like a universal experience almost. So,
And I don't think that I have as deep of a hatred that goes to like Liv Tyler as an actress or like not wanting to see her in other things because of it. I just really don't like her character. And I don't even think that for the most part she did a bad job portraying her or anything like
yeah,
that. I
no,
just didn't like
yeah.
her character, who she was or what she was, and she didn't feel like she fit in that group. Um, it's just very strange. I guess
No, I will.
inclusivity.
Yeah, I do think she did a nice job with the character. I won't. Yeah, I'll give her that. I just didn't like that character. Yeah, and I think part of it's like I liked AJ so much that I was like, well, no one can have him. You know?
Right, he's smart.
Yeah.
Um, okay, your favorite song, you kind of already answered this one too, but
Yeah, this
is
was
it
very
free?
hard though. This was very hard because this is such a fantastic soundtrack. I mean, yeah, you have Free by the Martinis. I do love Snake Face by Throwing Muse. Um, there's Plowed by Sponge. I love that song. And then I do,
We didn't talk about Sponge.
yeah, I do love the Dire Straits, Romeo and Juliet. I love that song as well. So there are so many good ones, and of course, there's cranberries on there. So it's just like this was a very hard um decision. But I'll go with Free because I love that scene too, and I think like it's perfect with the scene. So I guess I'm kind of like just choosing it because of that. Because one,
Yeah.
it's really hard for me to choose favorites of anything, to be honest. So I have to kind of
Um,
make like strict like things to choose one.
it is hard. Um, I appreciate what it took you to get to that moment to be
Thank
able to
you.
pick
Yes.
something.
Yes.
I think for me, I love the soundtrack. I feel like there's a lot of like the sad, slow college rock in this movie. And then I love like the juxtaposition with the punk stuff, you know? I'm more of a punk girly myself, so I lean toward like those songs.
Yeah.
But maybe because it's a hybrid of both, my favorite is Found Out About You.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Is that what it's
Yeah.
even called? Yeah.
Yes.
Or no, that's not
Till
even
I hear it from you.
Till I Hear From You,
Yeah.
sorry. Um, that's my favorite. And I really love that song just in general.
No,
Uh,
that's a fantastic song. Yeah.
but Free's probably my second favorite. Plowed is also really good. I like
Yeah. I
that.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, this soundtrack's fantastic.
Let me keep going. All right. So before we do any like rating of this
Okay.
movie, what just in general, give me some thoughts on how you felt about it overall, like the quality, um, the development, the characters, everything else. Like, how would you explain your thoughts of
Okay.
this?
So I kind of mentioned this earlier, but um I really do like all the character well, like I said, for the most part, all the characters, and it like makes me want to experience more with them. So I do love that. Like the movie drew me in immediately with the music, with the costume choices, with the setting of just like being in the record store again, and like just all the nostalgia of that time period. Um, and so yeah, like when I watched it, I just felt like I was being transported back to when I was younger. And so it was really nice. I agree with you that there are some things that maybe were like too rushed, or just like not given enough, weren't fleshed out enough, or weren't well-rounded enough to make it like a perfect movie for me. But no, like when I threw it on the other day, and then I actually put it on the background again today just to like to refresh while I was grading and everything. And of course it's like I'm grading, but I was trying to grade, but I kept watching instead, And so I do tend to multitask a lot. And so like to put something on while I'm trying to do something that again, they're due tomorrow, but it kept capturing my attention, even though I just watched it like 2 days ago. I mean, it's one that I think is like definitely rewatchable, um,
Yeah.
quotable. Yeah, they're just like moments you'll always remember from it. And so I don't know. It's just I was so fond of it in my childhood that, and I'm still fond of it today. So when I was watching it, of course, because I teach film lit, and I always think like, what would the kids today think of it? And so I kind of want to ask them tomorrow if any of them have ever seen it, when I see them in class, just out of curiosity. Um, and like I could see a couple of kids in my classroom probably really liking it and being into it. And then of course I could see some of them like turning their nose up at it and kind of getting like snotty about it because they would probably think it's like cheesy in a way because it's
Yeah.
like it's so because the stereotypes of like the characters, they are kind of like these like caricatures in a way. Um and like you said, like it kind of reminds us of the Breakfast Club, like some of that the montage and stuff, or like the opening and everything. Um so I don't know. I am curious if I'm gonna ask them tomorrow if any of them have ever seen it and like what they thought of it just to see. For some,
Curious.
yeah, because sometimes I'm surprised by this generation, and their how do I say this? Like their moral superiority and how like I've noticed that they're not into characters who are not completely good. And if there are bad characters, they must be punished and stuff. And so, I really went on a tangent, so I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Please edit me. Because, like, for example, the other day I brought up we did film trivia, and one of the answers was Dirty Dancing. The question was about the soundtrack, and the answer was Dirty Dancing. And so we're like, "Oh, I love that movie." I'm like, "Oh, I love," and then I'm like, "I love that movie." And then some people were like, "I hate that movie." And I was like, "Really? Why?" And they're like, "The age gap of like baby." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "It was a different time." So sometimes like yeah, looking at
Which
things with
with Jimmy Stewart and his 12-year-old love interest.
oh, well well, it's like and we watched well we started off with Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart. And of course I'm like Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, iconic duo, but she was very young when they met. I mean, she was of it, whatever. But yeah, so I don't know what 2026 eyes would think of this, movie what from 1995. I would be curious what they would think of it. But
That's a good. I would love to hear because that's interesting.
yeah,
Like
I'll ask
a
them tomorrow.
interesting perspective.
Mhm.
And I don't. There's definitely stuff that I'm like, I wish we knew more about this. But I think that's a good thing because it means that I want to see more of
Yes, you're
it.
intrigued.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I may not love every character. There may be characters whose, or at least a character whose storyline I'm disinterested in, or like whatever. But overall, I think it's fun. And I don't remember if you said this while we were recording or if you said it before, but you mentioned at some point like you would have watched like a limited series or
Yeah,
whatever.
I would have
And
watched more. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's a great setup, a great setting. Um, a good mix of people that could have very interesting stories and if you could see more of those interesting stories, that would be better. Like what's Eddie's deal, for example.
Yeah, I know. We
Um,
really want to follow Eddie.
but yeah, I mean overall I obviously like it. And anytime I feel like there's just this something about a 90s movie that centers on like a group of teenagers who are like friends. I don't know, that just really like is always gonna suck me in.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, yeah, definitely gets me
so
too.
if you had to rate this on a scale of quarters glued to the floor, how many out of 10 would you give it?
How many out of 10? Okay, so I think I will rank it. Oh gosh, it's hard because it's like, if you're comparing it to something. Um,
I just
I might be I might be an 8.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, I think I would do 6.5 to 7.
Okay.
I
Mhm.
think it has an IMDb score of 6.7, and I feel like that's right where I would
Okay.
put it.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's just because in my mind there are a couple things I'm like, I needed to know more about this, or
Hmm.
not liking Corey.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's definitely fun.
Hmm.
It's great soundtrack, so I'm really glad that it is still or has like survived from being like a know nothing movie that didn't make it in the theaters to a cult classic.
Cult classic.
One I was looking at trivia for this, and there's one thing I wanted to mention that I thought was super interesting and I did not know. Um, I mentioned before, like a lot got cut from the movie,
Okay.
and a lot of characters got cut actually as well. One of them was Toby Maguire had a character in the movie.
Okay. When I was looking up one of the characters, do you remember who he was he supposed to be one of the characters, or was he a completely different
Yeah.
character?
No, he's a completely different character. He was
Okay.
one of at least three characters who got cut ultimately.
Okay. When I was searching somebody, I did see like a kind of like when it gives you a little bit of what the article is going to say, it says something about Tobey Maguire being cut, and I was like, oh, he didn't. I guess someone beat him to the role, and I was kind of curious like what role he tried out for, but so he was a different character and he was cut. Yeah, I wonder if it was like another employee or was it a customer? Who was it? Yeah.
Employee based on I don't know. I mean, who knows what on
Yeah.
the internet is real? But the way that it read to me was that he was supposed to be another employee, but apparently he had to leave because he had a drinking problem. And I was like, how old was he then? Because in my
Oh my
mind, he was
God.
my age. He would have been like 12 or something. But apparently he was 20, and so he had to exit filming because of that. And they ended up, I think, cutting all of his stuff, and they may have even had to like reshoot some things because he wasn't in it.
I didn't know he had a drinking problem.
I didn't
Oh,
either. Like, who is this man? I thought I knew him, and I don't.
I know he's a gambler.
Explain yourself. I didn't know that.
I think he's a
Dang.
huge gambler, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gave up one
All right.
vice for another. Well, I don't know if he gave up drinking, but yeah.
Uh, um, one other thing that we talked about before that I want to talk about now because we didn't go into detail was Brett. You mentioned like, did you or did I have a record store that I would
Oh
go
yeah.
to
Hmm.
young? So, tell me yours. What
Okay,
was your experience?
so in I'm from Batesville, and in Greensburg there is a store called On Q, and that's where we would go to get our CDs and everything. And yeah, it was just a music store, and we would go there like all the time. And yeah, that's where I picked up like my Avril Lavigne CD.
Oh, did you wear the tie?
I didn't have a tie. No. No, but when I went to the Avril Lavigne concert, I like got like temporary black hair dye and did like just the under, but you couldn't tell anything was dyed because it wasn't, yeah. So I thought it was really edgy for doing that. Um, but
Anywhere.
yeah, we would go there and I would just like sometimes I would just peruse through like the CDs and just like pick a random one. So like I picked up randomly Boxcar Racer there
Oh.
one day and everything, which I listened to this morning, Boxcar Racer. And then I picked up, okay, so there were CDs that were called like The Essential, and they would be like an artist, but I didn't know that The Essential was just like this is the essential of this artist. I thought that was like the artist. And so
Wow, Essential is so prolific.
I know, so I was like the essential, and it was the essential stabbing westward. Um,
Oh,
which is I the only song I know by them, and I have the CD, but the only song I ever listened to was this one called "What Do I Have to Do?" And you'll have to take a listen to that one day. But yeah, so yeah, pretty sure I got my Something Corporate CDs from there and everything. But then it went away, with just like Blockbuster and all that. And yeah, it's kind of bums me out to think that there's not like that kind of store. Like there's still in Castleton FYE.
well,
Um,
yeah, and I was just there though, and back in the day, you'd walk in, and from the front to the back would be rows of CDs and
oh yeah,
records and stuff, and it's like two or three sections just in the back, and the front is all like
it's like
Funko Pops,
and yeah,
anime stuff, and whatever.
like snacks from like different types of snacks and stuff. It's kind of an interesting store. Yeah.
You have like a mix of a bunch of other stores that are there.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some
Yeah,
interesting stores in the mall. Yeah. But yeah, and
funny.
what was yours?
So we had Karma Records, which I don't know if that's just an Indiana thing or what goes on, but there used to be like many brand or locations of
Now,
it.
which one
Um,
did you go to? Because was there one on Washington Street?
there was, but I'm from like the west side of Indianapolis, so I went
Okay.
to one on 38th Street, and
Okay.
that's also like close to my high school and stuff. So, um, I loved going there so much, but I was like the shyest person on earth when I was a kid, and so I did not ever interact with anybody at that store except they would they would like order stuff for you if there's something you wanted, and um I um didn't listen to a lot of like mainstream stuff at the
Yeah.
time, and was like finding a lot of music online and like trying to find records in the store. So I did a lot of like custom ordering, and there was a girl that worked there, and I just wanted to be her friend so bad. Like she had a Mark shirt.
Oh,
Um, I was too scared to talk to anybody, and they're probably like, "Who's this nerd?" And I always looked way younger than I actually was, so they were probably like, "Wow, this 10-year-old needs to get out of this store." But I would go in there, just stay in there forever and ever. And eventually, like that was where I would go to buy concert tickets too. So like you get paper tickets and you have to like they'd
oh,
say
yeah.
this is when they're going on sale, and you'd have to like go there in person and buy the tickets, and sometimes wait in line or whatever to get them. It was fun, but then they kind of became more of like a head shop, and I
Yeah.
mean there's still at least one Karma Records that I know of. Um, but yeah, I kind of went the way of the others. And then the other one that I went to sometimes was Waves Music,
Okay.
which was in the mall, but the mall went defunct. So there was another place that was in like Circle Center Mall, but I don't remember what it was. Maybe it's Goody or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think at Tri-County and like Northgate and Cincinnati, because really when I went to the malls as a child, we went to Cincinnati. Um, and so my sister and I have tried to like we want to see a layout of every like the mall and all their stores like for all of the
Oh,
90s, right? Because like sometimes we'll just like look stuff up and trying to remember like the layout and everything. We can do a pretty good job. Um, but yeah, there was one that we would go to like at Tri-County or Northgate, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I want to be able, yeah. I'm just curious what it was. But Sam Goody sounds really familiar to me. Um, but yeah.
we also, I don't, this is, I think more movies, but we had like Suncoast. Have you ever been to Suncoast?
Um, I have been to a Suncoast. I can't remember if there was one in a Cincinnati mall or if like on a vacation somewhere.
Oh,
Like going to because we'd always go to mall on vacation when we were younger. If there was one. But yeah.
I used to collect like action figures and toys and stuff. And so Suncoast was my spot. Crap.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think there was a
all right.
Suncoast in maybe there was one in Northgate Mall, but I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. No, I miss those old stores and everything. And it's like, well, weren't you just we were just saying the other day that malls are still hopping, they're still hopping, and it's like I just wish, yeah, it's like I love mall culture, and just like going to a mall and like the snacks and like walking around and just yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The bags I would pack around, but I would always leave somewhere. I would always leave the bag somewhere and not to, yeah, and have to try and
I
backtrack
was always
it out.
I would always be so sad when a store had like a plastic bag versus like the ones with like the what's it called? Not cardboard. Like the paper bags with the handles because I
Yes,
just felt like those were the legit ones
yeah,
and you'd want every store you went to you'd be like, yeah, I'd like a bag for that." So you could just
yes.
like have
You
all
wanted the bags. Yes, I would
walking
like
around.
keep the bags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would keep the bags and everything. And
Fun.
actually that if you looked into my like utility closet, you would notice that not much has changed. I don't
Still
know
got
what
a
it is.
bag.
I just
Cute.
yeah, it's like well, now I'm like revealing how much of a pack rat I am, but yeah. So,
That's fun.
yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all we've got on Empire Records. It sounds like next time we're gonna watch Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh, I
Um,
can't hardly wait.
I know, same.
Yeah.
I think that's one I've only seen all the way through one time, but there's just so many things that just stick out in my brain about it.
Yeah, and that is a great cast. And
Hmm.
there are so many jokes in that I'm like, I don't know if it would go today. But but it's like I'm sure when I sit down with it, I'm probably gonna be like saying every line and texting my best friend and stuff. Yeah. But but I'm gonna keep my ear out for AJ's voice because
Okay,
it
yeah,
doesn't hear
that's
the voice in
a
there.
nice.
I think it says in his IMDb like what line he says or like something about it. He might be the person that says like, "Dude, these brownies suck" or something. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna keep a lookout for that. And
That sounds good.
now that I remember that he was in Party of Five, I'm like, well, now I want to rewatch Party of Five and see little what Johnny Whitworth, little AJ. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
All right. We'll catch you next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oops.